Hi, I'm Claire from englii, and today we're going to take a look at conditionals. We're looking at zero conditional today. Zero conditional is a great start into the world of conditionals because it looks at all the structures you'll need to form the remaining conditionals. Conditionals are actually something that you do use in everyday life. Also, we can use them in a business setting or an academic setting too. When you know them, you see them everywhere. I even just used zero conditional right there. Did you notice? So before we get into the serious grammar stuff, I'm going to answer a question that I get asked all the time by language learners. Why do we use conditionals? A conditional, in all forms, is used to describe a cause and effect. If we do something, the next thing is true or certain. Now, we can divide our conditionals to look at them individually about their use and their grammar form. We're going to take a close look today at zero conditional. Let's look at the use. We use zero conditional for scientific facts, things that are generally true, and instructions. Now we understand why we use the zero conditional, but how do we make the zero conditional? Let's take a closer look at the grammar you need to make and form our clauses. If you're not sure what a clause is, it just means a part of a sentence. Now let's start with the difficult stuff. This is how we make our conditional. We start with if. Then our grammar looks a little like this. Present simple, comma, present simple. We start with the condition clause and then the result clause. We're saying if this thing happens, this is the result. So let's see it in action with an example. We start with if. Now our first sentence is going to be in the present simple form. If we leave ice outside. So we used leave in the present simple form. Our verb is in the present simple form here. If you leave ice outside, what happens? It melts. So we can see we use the verb melt in the present simple form as well. If you leave ice outside, it melts. Now think about our use for a second. What is this? This is a scientific fact. This does not change. Let's look at another example. This one is going to be generally true for me. If I don't drink coffee in the morning, I'm sleepy. So we can see present simple form and present simple form. And it's generally true for me. How about you? How about this example? If you finish your work, check your answers. You might hear this one in a classroom because it's an instruction that your teacher might give you. So realistically, you can see how we do use zero conditional in everyday life. If you're following instructions, you'll definitely see this one. If you're a scientist, which is very possible, you'll see this almost every day. As we said, zero conditional is used for scientific facts, things that are generally true, and instructions. But you have to be careful. When we say something is based on facts or general truths, this could be different for different people. Something that may be true for me might not be true for you. This means that our conditionals are based on our own perceptions and our own experiences. So if I feel that something is always true for me, I can use zero conditional, even if it's not based on scientific facts. Let's take a look at some general truths from my life. If my dog meets someone new, she goes crazy. This is always true for me. maybe not for you. Take a moment to think of something that is almost always true for you in your life. You could probably use the zero conditional here. If I'm late, my boss yells at me. That might be true for you, but maybe not for someone else. Be careful. There's something that we have to watch out for with conditionals, of course. It's not super straightforward, unfortunately. Now, we mentioned that our typical conditionals look a little bit like this. If, present simple, comma, present simple. But if we want to make the result clause be first and the conditional clause second, we can actually do that. We can change the order, and it's still perfectly correct. So let's look at our sentences now. Okay, we can see that the if clause is now second, which means the condition clause is now second, and the result clause is first. So what's missing? We're missing the comma. In written form, when we now have the result first and the condition second, we don't use the comma. This is only when we're writing. So if you're speaking, it doesn't really matter. Now, we look at these two conditions. Is there a big difference? No, they are similar, but the emphasis has changed on each part. So if we look at our two conditionals here, we have if you leave ice outside, it melts. And we also have ice melts if you leave it outside. Both of them are perfectly correct. Watch out for the comma. Let's sum up that information before we do some practice. We use conditionals in English to talk about the cause and effect relationship between two events, where the result is always true and certain. We use zero conditional to talk about things that are generally true, scientific facts, or instructions. The grammar for this conditional is if plus present simple, comma, present simple. Okay, let's do a little practice. So I'm going to show you a part of a conditional here, and you have to select the correct option. Are we ready to go? Let's do it. Okay, let's get started with our quiz. So what you're going to have to do now is select the correct ending for our conditionals. I will read the conditional first, the possible answers, and then give you some time to think. We ready? Let's go. If it rains, I will stay inside, I stay inside, I will be staying inside, I am staying inside. And our answer is number 2. I stay inside. If it rains, I stay inside. We're using this because it's something that we normally do. It's generally true, and we can see the grammar matches. Present simple, present simple. Okay, let's try the next one. If the sun rises in the east, it sets in the west, it will set in the west, it will be set in the west, it is setting in the west. And our answer is 1. It sets in the west. If the sun rises in the east, it sets in the west. Okay, this is scientific fact. This does not change. And again, the grammar helps us. Okay, let's go and try another one. I get hungry. If I eat breakfast, I don't eat snacks. If I don't eat dinner, I like to eat lunch. And our answer is number 3. If I don't eat dinner, okay, we need to have now our result first and our condition second. So we can see in the first sentence, we don't have if. And in the second sentence, we now need if. I get hungry if I don't eat dinner. So, very important. Be careful with this one. The next one is, I take a nap. If I'm tired, I'll be tired. If I am tired, and if I was tired. And the answer is 3. If I am tired. Now be careful because I know a lot of people might say number 1, but take a look, there's a comma. We cannot use a comma if the result is first and the condition is second. We only use the comma if the condition is first and the result is second. So that is why our answer is number 3. Okay, let's go for another one. If the water boils, it makes steam. It will make steam. It will be making steam. It is making steam. And the answer is 1. If the water boils, it makes steam. So again, this is a scientific fact. And we can see present simple, present simple. All right, let's see what's next. If the plant gets water, it grows, it will be growing, it is growing. The answer is 1. It grows. If the plant gets water, it grows. Again, it's something that's generally true, a scientific fact, normally. And our last one, if I don't wear my glasses, I can't see, I'll be able to see, I cannot see, if I will not see. And the answer is also 1. I can't see. We might also look at number 3, but you'll notice again, this is related to our comma. We need a comma because in our first sentence, if I don't wear my glasses, there is no comma, but it is the condition clause. So we do need a comma. So that is why our answer is number 1. How many did you get correct? Let us know in the comments. Hopefully, you find zero conditional a little less confusing. Of course, there are many other conditionals that we're going to take a look at, so make sure you subscribe to find out a little bit more about conditionals. If you're still a little doubtful about zero conditional, or if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and we'll be happy to answer them for you. If you're looking for a little bit more practice on the zero conditional, there is a link to our website where you can download a free PDF to further practice your zero conditional. Remember, practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the easier it gets. And you might see that conditionals are not as scary as they seem to be. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope to continue to help you improve your English. Thanks for watching.